You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Ryan, that's a new song that's coming out on my new album. That was just a little taste of it.
You're not going to add that vocal intro to the song?
No.
Just do one of those spoken word things like a... like
hello, welcome to...
Or you could do like a Boys to Men song.
Yeah, we could do that.
Maybe.
Thanks for listening. We have great guests coming up, and I'm trying to get, it looks like it's going to happen, Toni Collette.
Ooh.
Hopefully in studio, which would be great.
Norway.
She's Australian.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a fantastic, brilliant, wonderful actress. I just love Toni Collette. Oh, man. I'll be starstruck.
I just saw her in Mickey 17. I just saw that.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check that out. I think that's what she's probably going to promote.
Yeah.
She's also in this other, Mickey 17. I think that's it. Thanks for listening to the podcast. If you're here for the first time and you're a big Katie Cassidy fan, I appreciate you here. And look, all I ask is if you like the interview and you say, oh, he's a pretty good interviewer, then subscribe and listen to others. And that would mean a lot to me. And it's the least you could do if you like the interview, right? I appreciate you. Another thing, you can go to my Instagram at the Michael Rosenbaum, my link tree. It's got everything there, Cameo, all the cons, the Cruiseville. You can go on a cruise with us with the Smallville cast. Chicago, there's a big Smallville con. There's so many things that are so much fun this year, Ryan. And Ryan's going to be at the Chicago con. I'm going to try and get him to go to some others. It's nice to have Ryan around. I just like having him around, man. If you just hang out, I'm going to pay you to hang out with me.
I like traveling. I like going to little places.
We had fun.
Yeah.
Also, the Inside of You online store, there's so many new cool things. There's the Smallville pilot signed by me. There's the Lexmas script signed by me. Ship keys from the show signed by me. Lunch boxes signed by me and Tom Smallville. There's some cool shirts if you want to wear me on your on your shirt. There's great new tumblers that are awesome. So many things on the Inside of You online store. So check it out. And Lex Luthor Funkos, they're real and they're signed by me. It's on my website. So if you're getting them elsewhere, you're doing the wrong thing. These guys selling them for like $300 and, who knows if it's even my signature. So be careful. If you want to get them, go to the Inside of You online store and get those. Anyway, look, thank you for supporting the podcast. If you want to help the podcast, if you like the podcast, please join Patreon, Patreon, patreon.com/inside. And there's all different tiers that you can join and give back and help support the show. There's a new tier coming out. It's already out. So check out the new tier. It's Zoom with me every 3 months. What else? Come on the show, get extra gifts that no one else gets. So it's pretty cool. And you're really helping the show, more importantly. So that's awesome. Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breast. Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath on Amazon. My product. I hope you check it out. It's for your dog's breath. It's great. People are digging it. So write a review and get some and tell me what you think. And maybe I'll Zoom you on the show to talk about it or something. I don't know. Or maybe you'll leave a message and we could air it. I love Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. It was good. Wait, it's supposed to be for your dog. Anyway, Katie Cassidy is here. She's back, and you know her from the Arrow and the DC universe, but now she's doing a lot of other things, and she's getting her life together, and she's directing and producing, and it's really exciting to see. It was wonderful to have her here. I think she was a different person, not a different person, but just her aura, her disposition.
Yeah.
It was, she just felt confident and happier. And I loved it. And it's always a joy to have her on. So why don't we just do it? Let's get inside Katie Cassidy.
It's my point of view. You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum.
Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum was not recorded in front of a live studio audience. Katie.
Yo, I'm back.
Are you excited to be here or what? You came here
I'm super excited to be here.
You came here in the pouring rain. Like one of my other guests canceled on me.
I'm not crying, by the way. I just put eye drops in. I'm just clarifying.
Yeah, you don't look like you're crying.
Okay, great.
I hope you don't cry in this. I mean, it would be nice if you
I
did.
might listen. We're just gonna be real talk here. So
I feel like the older we get, the easier it is to just cut through all the bullshit.
yeah, I
And-
don't have time for it.
And you've been there. We've all been at places where we're like, I didn't really love myself then, or I wasn't great then.
Mhm.
I'm better, and it's just about getting better. Have you had that?
Oh yeah. I mean, I definitely have had that moment of like, what the hell was I thinking or doing? And also, I'm just happy, like I've said before, happy to be here, easy to work with. It's my slogan.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, easy to work with. Were you ever not easy to work with?
Oh, I'm sure. In my early 20s, I don't know. I think, and you probably had this experience too, when you're working as an actor and you're shooting and you're on set and everything is happening all around you all at once, your head just is sort of spinning and you're trying to stay focused. And
Yeah.
I mean, there's things like I've learned along the way that I certainly know now, like I wasn't aware of when I was in my early 20s, late teens, but also now, we can get into the directing conversation, but
We will.
going on the other side of the camera and stepping into that role, I get it. And I just have so much appreciation for the creative process and the collaboration and being behind the camera. And I get it.
You now know how difficult it is as a director to deal with everything. And then if you have either a bratty actor or somebody who's causing it, it's energy. It's an energy sucker. What's that show? What We Do in the Shadows? What is energy? What was his name? Colin Robinson. He's a character. He's an energy vampire. He just takes your energy.
Yeah, no. I know people like that. And
Yes.
I don't mess with those people. We don't have time for it.
No,
anymore.
but as a director, don't you see, like, have you directed where you work with actors? You're like, oh boy.
Yes, but I have to say, I have I have an appreciation for them, and while I am one as well, I'm still acting.
Yeah.
They're like, "Are you not acting anymore?" I'm like, "No, I just shot a movie. I'm still acting. I love acting." But yeah, I think it's also about communication and just making sure your actors are aware and know, like, listen, please. When I was shooting Arrow, I remember, I was close with the cast. We were like a family, and when I was directing, my episodes, I was like, listen, please, like, be on time for me. And not that they ever weren't on time, but it's just think it's
Time's everything in TV directing.
Oh yeah,
in any directing.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
just being aware of the clock.
You definitely get a greater respect. I know when I directed, it's just like, wow, this is what they have to deal with. Because I'm usually a goofball and all over. Michael, attention.
Yeah, we're rolling, Michael.
We're rolling, and I was never an asshole. I mean, I'm sure were times when I didn't like a director, but ultimately, like, I'm goofing off. I'm trying to make everybody laugh. I'm trying to, I'm just on set 12 hours. That's how I work.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So, but you also
would drive me crazy as an actor.
No, the crew and everybody
kidding.
would be having fun.
Yes,
but
which is important.
But
too,
sometimes, I mean, back then, I think I would like, dude, I need you to focus right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, okay, sorry, and that's it. That's all I need to hear.
Right, communication and self-awareness. But I also appreciate that too. It's like, you can't also take yourself too seriously. I mean, we're not saving lives here. We're creating something and telling a story, which is beautiful. But it's, sometimes you need people like
maybe
goofballs to lighten the scene a little bit.
Maybe we are saving lives in a way.
Yeah, that's true.
Inadvertently, like, this podcast, people have come up to me and I'm like, they're like, you don't understand, your podcast has got me through so much. And I'm like, what? What do you mean?
That's awesome.
And they're like, I listened to this Alan Ritchson episode, and Alan talks about almost trying to kill himself. And somebody just came up to me at a con and it was like, I listened to that episode and I saw exactly what he did, and it helped me get through it. And I was in tears. I was like, because I thought this is just trying to be honest, trying to be open. And then when you hear that, when you actually do something inadvertently, you didn't know that you were helping someone. You were just trying to be honest and upfront.
Yeah. And same when that's right. Because when I go to these conventions, and it reminds me I'm so grateful, because the fans are the reason why we're on the air and successful. And there's this genuine camaraderie almost with us and fans and everybody. Everybody loves superheroes, but fans have come up to me at conventions as well and have been like, Laurel Lance during this season or during this time, really helped me through my alcoholism or helped me,
Wow.
when I was in high school with drugs and struggling, because Laurel, her journey was quite a wild one.
Yeah.
And it's really a beautiful thing to hear. So you're right. It is for saving it. People can relate to these stories that we're telling and characters we're portraying. And I'm just grateful to have been able to do that.
Do you like the cons?
I do. I love them.
You do?
Yeah, they're fun. It's like a good energy, and it's almost like sleepaway camp. I get to see you.
It sort of is.
I get to see Zach Levi. I get to see Jared Padalecki, people who I haven't seen in so long.
Yeah.
And so you go away to this random city for a weekend, and we're all there hanging out together and doing the thing.
I really enjoy going to the cons. By the way, people don't realize how exhausting they are.
Yeah, I mean, you're on all 24/7.
Well, you want to give everybody that moment.
Yeah,
you don't want to be
course.
like, oh, cool. I hear some actors just sign and move on, and I'm like, no.
Yeah,
you're going to get at least 20 seconds from me.
Yeah.
Of hey, what's going on? Where are you from? Something. It also depends on how many people are in line. You can't.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, it's. I have to say, during especially COVID, the conventions, you've got fans who are there, and sure that there's money involved, but it's has supported me at times when as an actor you're ebbs and flows and this is life, and it's been helpful, but they're happy to be there, and they want to meet you, and they want to know that they're having an impact on you as well. So it's an interesting exchange that is, I think, a nice, like I said, genuine camaraderie and a nice, beautiful thing that I really appreciate, and I have fun, and it does bring me up. I'm get to go to this city or see this person.
Come on, people
whatever.
are I'm going to a con. If I'm not doing anything on the weekend, it's am I going to watch another movie and sit around the house, or maybe go to a dinner, or go to a con, make some money, make people happy, and get away?
Yeah, and see people who I've known who I haven't seen.
That's the thing. You see all these people at these conventions. You went, Ryan. Ryan was there. He's on our Talkville podcast. He's one of our.
Oh, I love.
He's
that.
one of our dudes. Yeah, me and Tom. Let me ask you this. I know that your house didn't burn down in the Palisades.
This may get me emotional talking about, but I'm okay with it.
Well, what exactly happened? Because I evacuated, but I was lucky because they stopped the fires and I was able to come back into my house. But I have so many friends. My friend Kim Painter, who lost her house, and Chad, and so many. And it's horrible. And but what was your experience?
So I was born and raised in Los Angeles, and my childhood home that I grew up in burnt down 15 years ago. Luckily, nobody was hurt. My parents didn't own it still, but you have history and memories and all that. But I'm aware of the Santa Ana winds and always have been. And so the morning of the fires, it was, I think it was about 9 a.m. And my partner, he lives with me, and he's from Canada. He sails, and
he sails. He's from Canada. He sails.
Well, he does a lot of things, but he also sails.
Is he in sales or he sails?
Well, no, SAIL. And I say this because he opens the door and he's like, "Babe, the weather is crazy. It's kind of warm, but there's this it's hot, but there's this crazy wind." And I was like, "Oh no. This is not." He's like, "It's awesome." I'm like, "Not awesome."
Not awesome.
I walk outside, and our umbrella had blown it, snapped in half, and I smelled fire, and I look over, and in the Highlands I saw smoke, and one of my dearest friends lives there, and she's got 2 kids, and I'm super close with her, and I call her immediately, and I was like, Elisa, is everything okay? What's happening? And she's like, "What do you mean?" And then she's like, "Oh my gosh, I have to call you back." And then I had some work calls, and I started hearing some sirens and helicopters, and then I don't know, I just started to assess the situation as I was taking work calls. This is about 10:30, and it got obviously progressive.
And you weren't thinking right away. You're thinking, oh, this will pass and it's not going to be as big as,
I
it's
was
nothing to worry about right now.
very weary. I wasn't like, oh, we're fine. No, I was like, let's just, I'm not sure.
Assess.
Yeah. So I was kind of also, as it got worse, starting to put stuff in suitcases because I just wasn't sure.
Wow.
And I called my neighbor and I was like, she's this older, lovely lady. And I was like, are you like, what's going on? I hear more sirens and I see the smoke. It's getting worse. Like, should we leave? And she's like, no, you're fine. Don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. Everybody, she's like a very calming, lovely lady. And I was like, okay. And then, we go about our calls. And as it gets worse and worse, Steven comes in and he's like, babe, there's like women and children running down the street with their strollers and suitcases towards the ocean. And I looked outside the window. I mean, it went from 0 to 1,000 like immediately, and police everywhere, and and those were the people who abandoned their cars on Sunset Boulevard, which is near where I live. And so I basically, my sister called, was like, are you leaving? I'm like, I'm not sure. I think so. I have to call you back. And then I saw I had missed calls from Essie. I called her. She's like, you gotta go. Get in your car. We left. My friend's house in the Highlands is burnt down. You have to leave.
She's not from New York, is she?
Yes, she is. Come on. So I threw everything in the car, got my animals, it was raining ash by the time we got out of there. PCH, Steven, I had him like driving literally on the sidewalk because it was bumper to bumper traffic. And I was like, I don't care. Ruin the car. Just get out of here. And we were lucky enough
That's
to
scary.
get out.
Were there flames all around you?
I didn't see flames, but we were in the smoke pile, like this dark, I'll show you pictures.
Dark cloud.
Yes, it was awful.
Yeah.
So we leave, we go to my mother's house in Encino, and I turn on the news and there's my home, and the house next to it and behind it was on fire. And then the east side of my building, the building's made out of cement. The east side of my building caught fire, and I'm just sitting there watching, and I'm like, oh my God, this is it. This is it. And basically no fire trucks. And then finally a fire truck comes, they start shooting water, and then the water stops and it's still up in flames and it's only getting worse. And then they drive away, the fire truck. And I don't know, they probably went to a different area because what ended up happening, to put out other flames, but what ended up happening, my building, there was 2 jacuzzis on the 5th floor that melted into the water pipeline, and it caused the pipes to burst. And it flooded the entire building, which our building, then it acted like a sponge. So it saved the building, actually. So we had the opposite problem. So the firefighters, what happened is they realized the building wasn't going to...
Right, so that's why they moved on. But how many houses around you were...
Every structure behind me, around me,
were all burnt down.
All burnt down except for the pocket. And I don't want to give exactly where I live.
Right.
The pocket I live in, there's about 5 buildings, or their stores, their businesses.
Gone.
Those 5 in this little tiny pocket are still there. Every house east of me, it literally stopped at my building. Every house east of me and south of me is plummeted. And including my friend, like I haven't gone through Sunset until yesterday. I had to meet my contractor, and I'm so grateful and I'm so lucky, but there's guilt almost because so many
people. It's like, why didn't my place burn down? Everybody else's did. Why not?
Yeah. And it's so tragic and it's so sad. And I yesterday drove through Sunset, and I was telling you, my friend, one of my good friends who I called that morning, I used to go to her house every single day, and I couldn't even find her street when I was driving through yesterday, and I couldn't find her house because it's not there. And it's so different when you see it on TV and then when you actually drive through Sunset Boulevard, and it's just sad. And my heart goes out to everyone who has to deal with this and going through it. And it's been a lot.
I'm sorry.
And I have to say though, I appreciate you because you were like, it's raining. I can't even believe you came here in the rain, but it's like, I can't just sit and like, I've been dealing with the insurance because my house is all the infrastructure is gone. Like
And probably the smell, right?
It's totally just like smoke damage.
Can't live there,
You
uninhabitable.
cannot. Exactly. So it's good to like, I like that. Thank you for asking me to be here because it changes shit up, and I can't just like wallow in my sorrows and there's.
I think you're right though. I think when you actually are there and you see it on TV and everything is sort of like it's real, but it's not real. It's like you understand what's happening, but in person, when you are there to see everything that you've been living around gone, has to just be breathtaking. In a obviously terrible way. Just
yeah, it's
devastation. It really is
all around you, and it's not even. You get off the 405. I think it's like a 7-minute drive. You're driving through a war zone.
It made me reevaluate sort of, where I live and how close it was and what could have happened. I remember I walked out of the house and I remember turning around, looking at my home and saying, "Hey, thanks. Thanks for all the great times, great memories." And I had a tear in my eye. And no one knew I did this. My friends were in the background getting in the car and stuff. And I just took a deep breath and I turned around and I said, I got my animals, I got my friends. That's good. That's all I need. And but I was lucky, but it made me think, wow, the humidity levels at a certain, if it's really low and the winds hit in the right way and something catches a flame, this neighborhood could be wiped out like that. So I started thinking, where else can you live? What's another place we could move to?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know, but I do love California.
Of course. Yeah. And
it's all you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Born and raised here. And especially like, our industry in Hollywood and where we live, being third generation, it's just like, this is where my roots are. So, but there's certainly places and pockets outside of this Los Angeles, the city. I'm currently up near Santa Barbara, staying with my uncle and in the guest house, and I'm grateful, even though I can't go to my house. I mean, I can go.
You could always visit here,
see it, and say, "Okay, great! I'm so grateful it's still there." But it's not a fun situation. But it also, what I do like, I will say this, is Los Angelinos as a community, we always have each other's back, especially when it comes to disaster. And I think the community really has come together and helped, support one another. And we will rebuild, and the Palisades will be back, and we will get through this too. And it may take some time, but it'll be back.
Inside of You is brought to you by Strawberry. You'll want to listen to this, Ryan. We all feel uncertain at times about what's going on next in our life, what the next chapter looks like. And you're not alone. Life can be overwhelming. We have big decisions to make, changing relationships, or just trying not to make a mistake. And that's where coaching comes in. And that's where Strawberry comes in. Strawberry.me will assess your needs and connect you with the perfect coach for you. And this coach is going to help you see things in a different light. It's going to help you make better decisions and change the things that you want to change. You can start communicating in as little as 4 hours. You just can get going. It's professional coaching done securely online. There's a broad range of coaching expertise available in the network. You can schedule live video coaching sessions, plus log in anytime to exchange messages with your coach. This is something I think a lot of people have been looking for, Ryan. I get into these moments in my life where I'm a little lost. I have no guidance. I'm doing the same thing over and over. And what's that saying? When you keep repeating something, expecting a different outcome, but you're doing the same thing, it's called insanity. And that's sort of, and getting a coach, someone to guide me and help me and change those ways, it made such a damn difference.
Increase motivation and energy levels.
Break old habits or adopt new ones.
Reduce my procrastination.
Get into better shape.
Establish productive daily routines.
Improve time management and organization skills. I had a life coach. I learned to get a whiteboard in my office and start putting things that are priorities on there. I learned so many different skills. And look, with these coaches, you'll get timely and thoughtful replies between scheduled sessions. Strawberry.me is committed to making great connections, and so it's free for clients to change coaches as desired. And that's always tough, thinking, oh, I've got to change this coach. I'm not vibing. It's so easy to do. You don't have to worry. It's all online. Strawberry.me is more affordable than traditional offline coaching, and the service is available for clients worldwide.
Visit strawberry.me/inside and take charge of your future with the help of a certified coach.
Special offer for Inside of You listeners. Visit strawberry.me/inside and claim your $50 credit. That's strawberry.me/inside. Strawberry.me/inside.
Strawberry.me does not facilitate or provide healthcare services. Please consult with a healthcare professional.
Inside of You is brought to you by Shopify. Guys, if you are starting a business, I don't care if it's a big business, a small business, whatever it is, you need Shopify. I've been using Shopify ever since these podcasts started for me, and it's been a game changer. You want to brand yourself, your business, you want to be able to sell things, and you want people to like your product, but you want it to be easy to navigate. And Shopify, I'm not adept at computer programming and, dealing with that stuff. In fact, when I get a product and it has instructions, I have a problem reading the instructions. Shopify is so easy to use. If you want to sell something, okay, nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's a screen and everything is right there in front of you. You upload a picture of your product. You put the price in there. I have a little scale. It's 10 ounces. Put 10 ounces so they know the shipping. All the shipping and everything is done for you. The analytics shows the products that are doing well, products that aren't doing well, so you don't order them again. Shows you how many you have left. If you need to reorder, on and on. It is really brilliant and so easy to use. And there's nobody like Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet.
And the not-so-secret secret with Shop Play that boosts conversions up to 50%.
Meaning, way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going cha-ching. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between.
The secret's out. It's no secret. Businesses that want to grow with Shopify.
Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/inside, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/inside to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/inside. Switching gears, tell me something about the new guy, or do you not talk about the new guy in the podcast?
Steven's amazing.
There you go. You mean Steven?
You mean Steven.
How long you been together?
It's been almost 2 years.
Wow.
Know, bro. It's like
2
we
years.
have like an adult
What is it
relationship.
about him that makes you glow like that? What is it about Steven that maybe you didn't get before, or you just have this now?
He's I'm gonna get emotional. He's just the nicest, kindest, most thoughtful person I've ever met, and he's truly a partner. Like he wants to go through the stuff with me and together, and not everything is easy, and you talk through stuff, you work through stuff, and it's just about picking and choosing who you want to work through stuff with.
Yeah.
And he's just great. And we've like I said, working through stuff, like everybody has ups and downs, and he's just been such a great partner and somebody to lean on. And I'm so grateful I met him.
Do you feel like you can tell him absolutely everything?
Oh yeah.
Like
and I
everything.
Oh yeah.
Like even if it, you just let it all out there.
I feel like there needs to be more time, even not because I'm not ready to talk about it, or anything. It's just, I have 38 years to share with somebody.
Yeah.
I feel like, it's a lot, but yeah, anything that comes up, I'm very open.
Do you get bad anxiety, or have you controlled that?
I've gotten better. It doesn't just go away.
What do you do for it?
Deep breaths help.
Really, you don't have any medication or anything?
No.
Or therapy?
Oh, I'm in
Well,
therapy.
yeah.
Yes. Oh, forever. And I appreciate it. And I always will.
Do you go every week, no matter what?
I try to. There's been gaps and times where I haven't been able to, but I try to. I also when I'm working, it's tough because it's different. I have to compartmentalize, and it just sort of depends on what role I'm playing or what job it is. If I can, I need to take the space and have the time for Katie, myself individually, rather than just playing this character and avoiding my own emotions. But I'm not saying I'm avoiding, but I need to have the emotional capacity and space.
Do you ever think, I have therapy today, I have nothing to talk about, and then all of a sudden 10 minutes in, you're like, and you just start.
Oh yeah.
That's what happens to me every time. Every time I'm like, I have nothing to talk about. You do that, Ryan? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've said that to my therapist. I'll be like, to be honest with you, like I wanted to cancel because either A, I don't feel like getting emotional and getting into it right now. It's too much. Or B, I don't really have anything to talk about. And then, it's just.
Well, how you feeling? How you sleeping? How you start to go, oh, wait a minute, I'm not sleeping well. I'm thinking a lot. I had the craziest nightmares last night. I was at my friend Hal's house, and there was this horrible storm, and there were like waves coming in front of his house, and he doesn't even live near the water. And my dad was there. And he was
Is this a real?
No, this is a dream I had last night.
Literally.
Yeah, my dad was just sitting there at a table at my friend Hal's house, and I was worried about my dad being bored. And I just remember like, you okay? Oh, check this out, Dad. Check this out. I don't know what the hell was going on, but there was this awful storm, and then we were trying to get out. And it was really scary. I mean, I'm talking like, what was that movie with Naomi Watts where the tsunami comes in? It was that kind of feel. Mm-hmm. It was just like really crazy. And they always say dreams tell you something.
I was just going to say, there's something behind that.
I know. I'm sure it's daddy issues. I'm sure it's like fear of everything.
Yeah.
Fear of the future. Do you get depressed, or do you?
I definitely have been depressed before. Yeah. Depression and anxiety, they come hand in hand. But I definitely think like probably something to do with water with your, or, the rain and I don't know.
Maybe that's it. Maybe the rain subconsciously was, saturating into my dreams, man.
I don't really have like, as of lately,
you don't remember them. You probably dream. You just don't remember
I have a
them.
dream catcher, which I do think works and correct. I don't really remember. It depends on my psyche.
Yeah.
I think if I remember them or not. Sometimes I think I've used to have vivid dreams, but I don't know. Something's going on subconsciously, which I know.
Yeah. I think last time we talked, it was like you were just dealing with your dad's passing, maybe, right?
Probably. But he passed in 2017 and we talked during COVID. So I think you.
Oh, so no, it just happened right after. So a couple of years.
I'm like, you were always sort of dealing with it. I think it's.
Do you still deal with it?
Well, yeah. I mean, when I say still deal with it, he's a part of me and always will be. So it's just knowing that piece, though, that he lives within me is something that helps me be okay or accept the fact that he's not physically here, but
do you
emotionally, spiritually, he lives, inside of me in a way.
Do you feel like, because I went through this with therapy and stuff, a lot of the past that just consumes you often, growing up or whenever, that the more you let go and just, like I say certain things like did the best they can. Absolutely did the best they can. Love them, did the best they can.
Because
let it
go. It's almost like a forgiveness because something
that's what
happened to them that made them that way, or that's what they were taught. Something, it goes on for generations and ancestors, and my dad might have been this way, but that's because of his dad, or his dad passed that on to him, and that's all he knew, and so
it's not okay, but it's sort of understanding it
exactly
and accepting it.
They did the best
and forgiving,
they can.
Right? You can't do it because I tell my sister this all the time. I go, Laura, you're going to be 60 years old. When are you going to just live your life for you?
Mm-hmm.
When are you going to just accept the fact that, yeah, your childhood wasn't great and I feel bad and you should feel bad for that kid, but now you're an adult and you have to do things that make you happy. You have to hang around people that are positive,
Mm-hmm.
that people have your back.
Mm-hmm.
But she sort of has, you know, a firm foot, at least, in the past.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of my therapists once said this. He's like, you got 1 foot in the past, you got 1 foot in the future. You are pissing on the present.
Hilarious.
And
well, the present
yeah.
is a gift.
Yeah.
Live in the present moment.
Yes. But, you know, I always think like, let it go. You know, and my mom's dealing with some cognitive stuff. And, you know, it's like,
I'm sorry.
yeah. And so, yeah, we don't know exactly what's going on right now. We're hoping for the best, but my sister is just has become so much closer to her.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand it.
Are you close with your mom?
I love my mom. You know, close. I'm there for her. I, you know, take care of her, but I don't talk to her all the time, you know. And that's something I've had, you know, a tough time with growing up. I think I always wanted to be close to my parents,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just impossible.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible. It's just really difficult because, you know, I feel a lot of times that it's not just one person's effort. It's got to be both. And eventually you kind of give up. You kind of think, this is what it is. This is what I get. I love you both. That's it.
Yeah.
And I strongly believe that. I don't think I'm going to have any guilt. Like, you know, like, oh, you should have, there'll always be that, right? I'm sure. Did you feel that?
Yes, a little, but also I had accepted, you know, where our relationship was at, and he had his own. My dad had his own struggles and demons and stuff, you know, that he tried at times to get a hold of and couldn't. And you know, I wish I could have. I thought, you know, I could have been the one to save him, but I couldn't. And after all, you just have to. It's like you said, you just have to let it go and understand that people make choices and you can't control them.
Yeah.
And you just have to accept and do what's best for you and take care of yourself, even if that means, unfortunately, you know, cutting off the communication or not having a relationship because of somebody's well-being and it's not serving you. And I feel like that's a piece I think a lot of people miss. They think like, oh, well, we're blood, and so we have to do this. And
You have to figure it out.
Yeah.
It's blood. It's your blood.
Yeah.
I hate that. This
yeah.
is your so-and-so. You have to, I mean, you only get one mother.
Yeah.
You only get one. I hate when people guilt me into that shit.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I just don't have, I don't have the relationship that, you know, some of my friends, but then some of my friends don't have mothers or fathers anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And some of my friends do, but I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is.
I definitely don't think family needs to be blood. I think like you.
My friends are my family.
Exactly. You
They
have
really
people
are.
to lean on who you create community and people who lift each other up and
You
positivity.
just call on me, brother, when you need a friend or a hand. Do you ever think you'd do an Arrow reunion? Because they're doing reunions with every effing show now. I think Buffy's doing one. I mean, could you see Arrow doing a reunion? Would you do it?
Totally.
You would do it?
Yeah. I love, like, honestly, that was like one of my favorite times in my life is we were shooting in Canada. And what was cool about it is like the Arrowverse, it wasn't just Arrow, the Arrowverse was in Canada we were in Vancouver. And in fact, you know, Katie Lotz on Legends, she was my roommate. She played my sister. Danielle Panabaker, she was my roommate at one point. So like you're in Vancouver and you've got,
It's a family.
It's a family. And then you're like crossing over on each other's shows and you're like, it feels like a little bit like Comic-Con.
Did you get paid for doing like crossovers?
Well, yeah, that's just legal.
Like if you're doing a
work for
show
free.
and you're still on Arrow, but you're also doing Legends
or Flash.
Was it a good was it your rate?
Yeah. I mean the
So they have to pay you twice?
Well, yeah, that's sort of the deal. Like you're working your,
Wait.
but hold on, being on a series, like a series regular on a show is exhausting, right?
Yeah.
So you're working 15 hours a day on your show. And then you find out you're going to go to the other show, but you can't get your turnaround. You like are working a sixth day or, you're working a lot and it's up to you if you want to do it. You can always say no, but like we worked it out and you're tired and it's hard, but they figured it out too. They figured out how to kind of do a schedule across all 4 shows.
Cross-boarding or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But so you're saying if you did 22 episodes of Arrow, you probably did another 8 episodes on different shows.
So the crossovers were only usually just one
episode? A
sometimes
season?
2. Well, yeah, because you can't do that to like it's.
What if you just said no?
They
I'm
would
not doing a crossover.
Probably say, okay, fine, you're out, your loss. Or what if we double your rate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did that happen?
No, not. I mean,
Not to me.
because I was like, sure.
But
I'm happy to be here, easy to work with. It's my slogan.
Is it your slogan now? Was it then?
It was.
Okay.
Yes. But you know what? I will say this. I had to eat some humble pie when they killed me off that show, which it was really hard.
Did you know it was going to happen?
No. What's hilarious is I had no idea. And Danielle Panabaker was my roommate this season, season 4. And she's like, who do you think is in the grave? Because episode 1, we see a grave. And I was like, no one is in the grave. This is television. No. She's like, are you sure you're not worried? I'm like, no, it's fine.
It's you.
And it wasn't, I think I talked about clairvoyancy the last time we spoke, but I do know something before it happens. And not exactly what, but I got an email from my showrunners that was like, it was like episode, I don't know, 2 episodes before this, or an episode before this episode was when somebody was going to die.
Right.
And I get this email and it's like to the whole cast, hey, Katie, Mark and Wendy would love to sit down and have lunch with you. We're going to meet with all the cast just to like do a little catch up on like what's going to like be going on for the next few seasons. It might have been a mass email. I think it was. And for whatever reason, like my stomach just like, bleh, like dropped. And I immediately text Mark Guggenheim, who I adore. And I was
I'm
like,
fired, aren't I?
I said, Mark, it's like it's a Thursday and they wanted to meet on Monday. And I was going to a Comic-Con that weekend with my cast. And I was like, Mark, I just got this email that we're supposed to have lunch and I have a like sick feeling in my stomach. Please don't make me wait the weekend. Like, please, can we get on a call tomorrow? He said, wow, you're really intuitive. I'll call you tomorrow. And
that's when your heart sank. You're like, fuck. You're hoping he'd say, no, don't worry about it. And it was the opposite.
Yeah. So,
how did you feel? Do you remember the feeling you had?
Well, yeah, I was sad. I mean,
Were
immediately.
you numb?
I was sort of in shock because, the next day they did call. I was in New York by that point, going to the Comic-Con with my whole cast. And it was Greg and Andrew and Mark. And Mark, said, listen, unfortunately, I have to tell you, like, you're the one that's in the grave. I was angry at first. And I was emotional because I was sad and I was angry because I was so happy.
You knew it had nothing to do with you. It was just like the beginning of the season they said that.
I think it was a couple of things. I have theories. I think it was political. It's a lot. Regardless, I said, I'm a professional. And I was just like, okay, I just have to say, this was my only anger moment. I was like, I just have to say, I feel like I've always been given the short end of the stick. And I have to go. I hung up. And I didn't yell, or I just cried because I was sad. And Steven called me immediately and was like, I'm so sorry it's you. Like, I don't want it to be you. I worked really hard on that show and that character. And I loved it. And everybody was like, shoot. Because there may be.
But didn't you come back?
Oh, yeah.
See?
I got a call like 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
That was from Andrew Kreisberg, who's great. He called and was like, hey, I just wanted to find out, would you want to come on Flash and be your doppelganger and play Black Siren? And I was like, yes, Oh my gosh, this is such great. I get goosebumps talking about it. I was
That's
like, this is
awesome.
so cool. Yes, I would love that. So basically, I came back on Flash, played the opposite of Laurel.
How many episodes?
That it was just the one.
Just the one.
And so basically what happened is, and thank you to the fans, is I had to go through the weekend, by the way, with Comic-Con, and every question, who's in the grave? Do you guys know? And so our whole cast is on stage.
Just
and
looking at each other.
And I'm like, maybe no one's in the grave. I don't know. So I had to just play like I wasn't crushed. Steven was like, I'm really proud of you that you're like able to get
you could have
through
been
this.
just like, it's me. They fucking fired me.
Yeah.
Could you
Well,
imagine?
No, I would not do that. But
Yeah.
I definitely, had the support of the fans because that Flash episode I went on, ratings, I guess, like were great. And Arrows, unfortunately, I guess after they killed me, I guess their ratings went down a little.
Oh.
I'm not sure. But I did get a call after Flash aired from Mark Guggenheim that said, will you come back as a series regular? I think we may have made a mistake.
And that was season...
That was season 6. Season 5, I was on Arrow for recurring. I think it was like 8 episodes.
And season 4 was when they killed you.
And
then you're back.
And then I was back and like better than ever and like happy.
Did you get the same contract?
Yeah. It was as though
you're like, well, you fired me, so now I get to renegotiate.
I probably should have done that.
Yeah.
But I was just grateful. And I think that's what we started this conversation about, humble pie, because you asked if I was ever difficult. And there were probably times early on in Arrow.
I ask everybody that. Like I asked Steven, he's like, yeah, sure. There's times when people, like, especially when you're younger, you don't really know yourself. You're insecure. That's a big thing. Insecurity. It's you think it's all about you, but it's not. It's all about the big picture.
Right. That's what I was saying at politics. Like I get it. And it's storytelling. And quite frankly, them killing me off, I understood that it took every other series regular and their reaction to my, a main pivotal character killing them off that sends these other characters spiraling in different directions and reacting. And it's storytelling. And I don't take it personally. And I think they did a great job in writing for me, quite frankly. They wrote for me and I got a lot to play with. So for that, I'm grateful.
Inside of You is brought to you by Mint Mobile. Ryan, I don't know about you, but I like keeping my money where I can see it. Okay. Unfortunately, traditional big wireless carriers also seem to like keeping my money too. And after years of overpaying for wireless, I finally got fed up from crazy high wireless bills, bogus fees, and free perks that actually cost more in the long run. And I just switched to Mint Mobile. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages.
Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month.
$15 a month? I've never heard of that. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts.
Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. If you like your money, Mint Mobile is for you. Shop plans at mintmobile.com/insideofyou. That's mintmobile.com/insideofyou. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month 5 GB plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for 3 months only, then full price plans options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com for details. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Who's your support system? For me, it's my family. It's my friends. They've always got time to listen and help me understand my situation better. In a society that glorifies hyper-independence, it's easy to forget that we're all better when we have a support system behind us. Therapy can be a source of support for any area of your life. Therapy from BetterHelp is so helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it is not just for those who've experienced major trauma. Therapy is beneficial for everyone. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties and easily switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. It's really that simple. Build your support system with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/inside to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/inside. Every time something's happened where I got let go from a show before it ever aired, it was a pilot. And the whole time, I mean, everybody from McKay, Will Ferrell's partner, Adam McKay, coming up to me and saying, dude, the dailies are fucking hilarious. You're great, man. You should be so happy. And the director and everybody. And I was like, yeah, I feel good. And then one day after the pilot was shot, I got a call from Owen, this guy Owen, who's one of the executive producers. And he says, hey, Rosie, how you doing? I go, are you crying? He's like, yeah, man, I'm just going to say it. We fought them on this, but they think your character's too chauvinistic, and they just want to write the character off, and they want us to come up with a different character. Wow, that
probably really.
And I just took a deep breath, and I go, hey, dude, I love you, man. I love working on that show, man. It was great. I loved everybody. It's like, let's not make this weird. Think of me in the future, and I know we'll work together again, and it was a joy, and thanks, man. He goes, thank you too, man. Thanks for, and he hung up, and I remember sitting at my desk. I told the story, right? Not too many times, but I sat there and I go, you have a nice house. You have 2 great dogs. You have great friends. You're healthy. You're good. And I remember I was kind of a numb feeling, like I asked you if you were numb. And then I kind of just I kind of made it like into a funny. Like, text my best friend. They just fired me. Made it dramatic. And just, and I'm telling you, it wasn't 2 months after that, or a month. I get a call from this guy, Eric Tannenbaum, who's a big producer. And he goes, I got a show for you. You're the lead EP. Read it. It's awesome. And I went and shot it for a couple of years.
Oh, that's great.
And it wouldn't have happened if I was on that show. And so, and I remember Bruce Campbell, Evil Dead, he goes, hey, bud, sorry to hear that. I go, yeah. He goes, why don't you come over and get high and we'll go ride bikes? And I go, okay. So we went and got high and rode bikes all around Burbank and shit. And I was like, this is cool, man. I'm hanging out with one of my heroes, Bruce Campbell. And it's, there's always going to be something. You never can understand why, when, what the reason was. Like, you just have to go, it is the way it is. Someone didn't like it. Someone didn't like what I was doing, and that's their opinion, and that's just life. Yeah. You can't control it. If you can't control it, I always say, shelve it.
Yeah. Well, it's like they say, that saying of one door closes, the next door opens. And so it is, everything happens for a reason. And I truly believe that.
Have you ever been fired besides that? That wasn't really firing.
No, I've been killed off other shows before, but like Harper's Island, for example, that was everybody basically. I made it to the second to last episode, but Harper's Island was
everybody dies though.
With John Turtletop in every episode in that.
Right.
That show was great. It was I think ahead of its time, but we didn't know going into it. We all had the same deal. 7 out of 13 episodes are guaranteed. This is your payment. Someone's going to die every episode.
You knew what you're getting into.
You don't know who the killer is, and you don't know when you're going to die.
You never knew when you were going to die. So you're like, I'm on it again. Another episode.
It's great news.
So you never knew when it was going to happen.
No, and Christopher Gorham didn't know he was the killer until like episode 7. So when I got to episode 8, I was like, yes. When I got to episode 9, I was like, yes. When I got to episode 10, I think I made it to episode 12 out of 13. And I got that call from Kareem during Christmas.
It's time.
I saw his name on my phone. It was like, Christmas break. And I was like, oh, shit. And I pick up the phone and I'm like, hello, I'm dead, aren't I? And he's like, yeah, but you made it to 12. And I was like,
you weren't upset, right?
No, I was like, I know. I don't care. I'm just happy. I'm happy you kept me around this long. So
do you want to direct? What kind of movies do you want to direct? Like you're scouting now.
I'm scouting now. We can't say the title. for a feature that I'm
Does it start with
directing.
an S?
No,
Okay.
it starts with a W, but I'm not allowed to say what it's called.
Okay, but what is it?
It's an independent feature. Takes place in
What genre?
It's a suspense thriller.
Love.
Thriller horror movie.
Love.
It's a.
What's going on, Light?
Oh, just talking about it,
See, talking about horror and then boom.
Thriller, and then
It's funny because I wrote a horror movie, and a lot of times in different scenes, like lights kind of flicker.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the ghost of Amy Kemper is here.
Maybe.
But you like horror.
Whoa. I do like horror. I like horror. I mean, I've done a lot of horror movies. But it's a suspense thriller horror. It's dark, but it deals with mental health, mental illness.
Great.
Russia, 1894.
Jesus.
My grandfather actually had some mental illness later in life, and he was actually put into a psych ward at one point. So and I'm super excited. It's such a cool story.
Is that Jack Cassidy?
Yes.
Yes.
Who, by the way, he was the first person to play Superman on Broadway.
Really?
Yeah.
Jack Cassidy.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, superheroes are in the Cassidy gene.
You were too young to ever have met Jack,
Yeah,
right? Jack died
unfortunately.
in the 70s.
Yes, he died in the 70s from
Right.
smoking a cigarette and dropped a cigarette on the carpet and went up in
Are you serious?
mm-hmm.
Jesus. That's a,
I think he must have been drinking or.
I had my grandmother's, father's father, or maybe his father. He was in an apartment complex in the Bronx. And one day he's just sitting there and the whole ceiling just collapses on him. It just collapsed and killed him.
What? Yeah, this is life, man.
I appreciate you. No, but I'm like, what? That's effed. He's like, yeah, that's what happened. I go, well, tell me more. It's like, what do you want to? My
There's
grandma's
no
like,
more
what do
to
you?
tell.
She's like, what do you want me to tell you? The ceiling collapsed and killed him. I go, but he just died instantly. It was concrete. Something happened. He died. I don't know, but
Oh my!
I'm like, I wanted more, and
Yeah.
he never gave me more about that.
Oh wow, yeah.
But horror, thriller. Would you ever direct comedy?
Yeah, I actually wrote and directed and produced a short called America's Next Best President as a spoof on American politics.
Nice.
That is actually, I shot it during lockdown COVID, but released it 2024. And it's still even actually making the festival circuit.
So you're still like, you're always doing something.
I like to just create and tell story for the better of this universe because that's my purpose here.
Where are you filming the movie? You can't say.
I can. I'm shooting.
Let me guess. Serbia.
Yeah.
Yeah, you told me.
Oh. Also, we're gonna go scout Latvia this summer.
Latvia.
Latvia.
Serbia.
Yes, I love Serbia. It's beautiful.
I can't
I've
do
already
a
been.
Serbian accent, but
Yeah, I
I
can't.
try.
Italian.
Is that how the Serbian accent is, Ryan?
The Serbian
Well, you
accent.
could get away with it because most people don't know.
Yeah,
that it is. It's sort of like sounds
They're the
like
nicest
Russian,
people, and
But, yeah,
I need snow, so Latvia is going to be explored a little bit.
a lot of snow. Are you going to be in it?
No.
Isn't that a treat that you can just sit back
Yes.
and do your job?
Yeah, I want to stay focused. And I would think we talked about this last time as well. I have ADHD, so it's hard to
Yes.
but I also think it's a gift. Like my brain just works differently. It's sort of like my therapist.
I'm really creative.
describes
But
it,
do you get kind of just tired all the time?
Yes,
Because your brain works, so you need to nap all the time or lie down for a minute.
Yeah, but I can't stop. I have a very hard.
But it's
time
good to just lie
napping.
down. I know.
Yeah.
All right, this is called Shit Talking with Katie Cassidy. These are
Shit.
top tier patrons, patreon.com/inside of you. Thank you for the support and love. So this is rapid fire.
Oh.
If you really want to
okay.
answer a question.
Wait, I want to give you. I brought you two.
What'd you bring me?
crystals.
You brought me crystals.
I brought you crystals.
Do I need to do anything with them? Do I
goodness.
put it in my ass? What do I do with these crystals?
2 rose quartz crystal skulls, positivity and love, and the skulls are like ancestors, meaning of life. We're all.
Do you have one for health and pain?
Well, yes, I do. I'll bring them next time.
Do I do it? Just hold them and breathe?
Can I tell you what's amazing about these crystals is the energy that comes from them. And also, I say, we were talking about wildfires. I have a lot of crystals in my home, and they're protection. And I'm like, maybe it's the crystals and the pot, like they kind of face west, like, and maybe that's what saved the pocket that I'm in.
Maybe
They just have this incredible grounding energy. And when it comes to rose quartz, it's for, it's for love and light.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I really love it. All right, shit talking with Katie Cassidy, rapid fire. William K. What role project do you wish got more attention than it did, and why?
The Scribbler. It was based off a graphic novel. I played a woman who had dissociative identity disorder in an insane asylum. And I actually sat down with my therapist and worked on creating 7 different characters that we see throughout the movie and creating backstory. And I sat down with somebody who had dissociative identity disorder with my therapist, and she allowed me, she got permission, of course, from the lady. And I watched her. She transitioned in front of me.
Is it crazy?
It was the most wild experience I'd ever seen.
And you believed it?
Oh yeah, she
became a different person
multiple times, and then at one point, she was Native American. She jolted her head to a different direction, and she started speaking Native American. And my therapist actually recorded the session, and she took it to the University of Arizona to try to get it translated. And they said, we can't translate this, because she had never heard. That's a side of this lady that she had not met before.
But it sounded authentic.
Yeah, but they were like, we can't translate this for you. It's too evil or dark. And so she never got it translated, but she's like, I never saw that side of her. So working with my therapist and building the backstory of 7 different people. And then, the movie I'm directing, it deals with mental health, mental illness, and explores, sort of this nature. So that's definitely the movie that I wish got a little more attention. It was cool. It was like a great role, a great character. And I sunk my teeth into that role.
Yeah,
and
that's when it sucks, when you really...
Yeah.
All right, close your eyes. Who am I? Ready? Close your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to me. This next part is very difficult. They're going to take you. The question is, do you have any Liam Neeson stories to share? His dry humor is hilarious.
Liam Neeson is great. He's the sweetest man.
A set of survival skills.
Yes. I don't really, to be honest with you. He's just a nice, lovely man. And was just grateful. He was like, I'm so glad. So thank you for doing this. And I was like, thank you.
Oh my God.
You're Liam Neeson.
Taylor R. Any one memory or story working on Gossip Girl?
Yes. Well,
was there a lot of gossip?
Specifically, I don't know, because I can't get involved in the drama. It's too much for me. So I love Leighton. Leighton is a dear friend of mine. And she and I became really close. She's hilarious. She's actually, you know what? I want to give it to her. She is the one who taught me happy to be here, easy to work with. That's her slogan as well. Yeah. Spread the word.
Bob. Yeah. By the way, Bob K was the one with the Liam Neeson question, and Taylor R was the question in Gossip Girl.
I will say the one thing I remember from Gossip Girl, and I found out once we started shooting, because we were rolling in the middle of the scene, and here's the camera, and just to the right of a camera is another camera, but it's a paparazzi camera, and it's just like, and I was like, what is going on? What? It's distracting. And they were like, we can't do anything about the paparazzi. It's the law in New York. They can be wherever they want.
God.
So even the paparazzi were eating craft services. I'm like, this is crazy. How do you guys do this? But okay.
Yeah, that's
we just
weird.
learned to block it out.
Janelle B says, I'll sum it up. You play iconic characters, Black Canary and Black Siren. If you choose, who would you choose to play if you had to be one of those characters again, and why?
Probably Black Siren, because Laurel was so emotional, and it's hard to go there all the time. So, it was fun. Both were incredibly fun, and I'm incredibly lucky and grateful. I think probably Black Siren, just because you're not having, she was a badass and powerful woman, and she's like, I got this. And that's how Katie Cassidy feels. She's got this.
I like that.
Yeah.
Raj, tell me about a recent time you felt on top of the world.
Oh, a recent time. Probably
Probably scouting.
Scouting. I was just gonna say
know.
when I was scouting.
It's a cool feeling. I'm going, no. I think this is cool. We should do this. This is.
I want to say, by the way, thank you, because the last again, I think it was like 2 years ago, the podcast we did, your podcast, got me the job to direct this movie. I swear to you, the woman, her name is Shruti. She said, and Shruti is a gem. I love her. Her and the financier, writer, producer, I had him, she connected us, and I built a deck based off his script. And, we had a couple of meetings, and I put together all of this, 20 pages and then a digital deck. I did all.
And she saw the podcast?
And she saw the podcast because I talked about directing and how I went through the Warner Brothers directors 3-month program and how much I love it. And I'm like, this is also what I'm supposed to be doing and creating and still, of course, acting. But she's like, I watched your podcast and with Michael Rosenbaum, and that's how I knew that you were directing and that you went through crazy. And that you shot a short and directed it and so that's how we knew. And Emmett hired you out of, meeting several people.
I love that.
Thank you.
But Shruti, what about me? You didn't call me.
Well, maybe you'll be getting a phone call. You never know.
What makes you smile, says Leanne, or asks.
Just
everything.
Life. I mean, well, you go through ups and downs.
Yes,
my
you do.
Animals certainly make me smile.
You know what I want to give you?
Oh.
This is my new product, cheap plug, but it's for your dog's breath. You just put one cap in your dog's water. It's odorless, tasteless, and their breath is so much better. It's got little pictures of my doggies.
This is a wonderful gift.
Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath, just a cap full in your dog's water.
Oh,
it's great. People love it. My uncle has a pet show. He's talking about it on the pet show. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Lastly, I know you wanted to bring up your charity.
Mm-hmm. Well, talking about Help Malawi and talking about disasters, I wanted to mention also I'm working with this company, C Polar Technologies. And I know it's actually very interesting because I started talking with this company a week before the fires happened. And Steven was like, hey, my friend's going to be in town. He invented this technology and this filter that's not in the US yet, cpolartechnologies.com. And it's 1,000 times better than any, because we're all about clean air and obviously being aware of wildfire smoke.
So like a purifier.
No, it's a filter. Like it's a plug in.
Filter.
Yeah, you can just change the filter you have, and you put this C Polar filter in, and it's 1,000 times better than any other filter that is out there. And the technology doesn't even exist in the U.S. yet. So these people they're from Canada, and it's insane. And so I got, they came in and
I want one of these.
I know, and it cleans the air. It cleans everything you touch. It also cleans your water. It's everything.
What's it called?
C Polar Technologies.
cpolartechnologies.com.
Yeah.
This sounds great.
Yes, and
how much are they?
It's like a filter, so it's not expensive. How much is your filter? $3.99, $2.99,
well, it'll
99
fit
cents.
in my other purifier.
Exactly. Yep. Not your purifier, in your
ceiling.
Yeah.
The vents.
Yes.
I'm doing that.
Yes, you
so
should.
it's like a square filter.
Hold on.
If you pull out a filter.
No, I brought you a mask. It's a C Polar mask.
A C Polar mask.
This is way better than those N95.
All right.
Yeah. So when the fires happened a week after, those were the masks we were putting on.
I love it. This has been great.
Thank you.
I don't, it's funny because you're like, can I listen to the episode after? I go, of course. I don't even think we talked about anything that you'd want. It was all great, Ryan.
Well, you never know.
There was not one thing that even jumped at me.
Oh.
But you could listen to it.
I'll listen to it. I'm sure I'll say it's fine.
Listen, I wish you the best on the new director gig.
Thank you.
You're always busy. You're always acting. You're always directing. I love this. I think this is a new chapter in your life. I love that you're happy with Steven.
Thank you.
Good luck with the dogs and the puppy fresh breath. You have 2 dogs.
I have 1 dog, a Greater Swiss Mountain Dog, and I have 2 little kitties.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you, Katie. It was always a treat having you on. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you didn't listen to the intro, damn it, go back and listen. And thank you. And if you're a new person listening, please subscribe. Subscribe. I really like this show. I want it to continue, Ryan. Mm-hmm. I want to keep doing it. And, you know, it's the patrons that really enable us to continue this show. With their support, we're able to make a good show, you know, from engineering and editing to producing and a little bit of the talent. But, you know, it's become a really good show, and I think we're giving you quality stuff, and I think everybody's learning from it. I think it helps people. I think I'm proud of it. So thank you, patrons. And if you want to join again, patreon.com/inside. Here are the top tier patrons that we couldn't do the show without. And here we go. Nancy D, Lil Lisa, Yukiko, Brian Hinnenkamp. Dude, I haven't seen you forever. Niko, I haven't seen you for a while. Rob L. Where are you, Rob? Rob? Are you out there, Rob? Thank you for your support. Jason Dreamweaver. Sophie. Hello. That was a terrible Australian. Nar. Sydney. She's amazing. I did a Zoom with all the top tiers and even some other people, and Sophie was working out. She was on a treadmill at the time. And I was like, that's discipline. She came on, but she was working out. And I love seeing the motivation. I think, Jason, you were working out too. Raj C, you weren't working out, but I love you. Jennifer L, Stacey L, Jamal F. You guys are all awesome. I love seeing your names on here every day. Janelle B, Mike L, Dan Supremo, the big lawyer in England. 99 more. Oh, man, 99 more must be here for years, bro. Oh, yeah. Santiago M. Go ahead, Ryan.
Maddie S.
Mighty.
Kendrick F.
Kendrick.
Belinda N.
Belinda.
Dave H.
Hello, Dave Hall.
Brad D.
Brad.
Ray H. Tabitha T.
Yes.
Tom N. Talia M.
Yes.
Betsy D.
Ooh.
I'll have what he's having.
Oh. Harry and Sally.
Yeah.
When Harry met Sally.
Rhiannon C.
We got Michelle A, Jeremy C, Eugene and Leah, Mel S, Eric H. Hello, Eric. Amanda R. How you doing? William K. William, what's going on, man? I need to meet you at a con. I need to see all you guys. Kevin E, Jorel. We got Jammin J. We got Leanne J. Are you guys sisters? Luna R, Jules M.
Jessica B, Kaylee J, Charlene A, Marion Louise L, Romeo the band,
Romeo.
Frank B,
Frank. Hello, Frank.
Hola. Jen T, April R,
Tuckerman. Jen. April. Randy S, Claudia. Hello, Claudia and Randy and Rachel D, Nick W, Stephanie and Evans, Stephen, Charlene A, Don G, Jenny B76, Tina E, and G Tracy. Hello, NG Tracy.
Want to be a vampire, Keith B, Heather and Greg.
Grether, I'm going to see you guys. They're supporting Food on Foot, not my buddy's nonprofit organization, foodonfoot.org, to help the homeless situation here in Los Angeles. And they bid on a lunch with me. And so we're going out to lunch.
Nice.
Yeah, and soon. So I'm excited to just sit down with you and have a real nice lunch.
Right.
Ellie K. Hello, Ellie. I like the name Ellie. Don't you?
I do too.
Like, Ellie, I wonder what her accent is. Do you think it's just English or like an American accent?
Okay. Yeah.
I kind of think it might be English. Ellie.
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 It sounds like a.
Not the Ellie.
I have a cousin in England. Ellie. Her birth name is Matilda, but we call her Tilly.
Tilly.
Yeah.
My great grandfather, when my grandma Rose died, he started dating a woman named Tilly, and she had this crusty mole on her forehead. And I just kept looking at it like, oh my God. Ben B. Pierre C. Sultan of Swing. Ingrid C. Dave T. Dave L. Jeff G. Oh, Jeff G. Just a simple Jeff G. He's my G. Kareem H. Kareem's probably powerful. Like, my name's Kareem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't forget Brian B. We love you guys. Thanks for supporting the podcast. And for the Hollywood Hills in Hollywood, California, I'm Michael Rosenbaum.
Oh, I'm Ryan. I'm here too.
Yeah, that's Ryan right there. See, a little wave to the camera. A lot of great guests coming up. Please write a review, subscribe, join Patreon, and we'll see you next week. Be good to yourself.